gangster shit, this gangster shit don't make me pocket cherry. We done been all up and through there. I'm tired of seeing this dreads get cut off all of my shooters. Push-ups and dips till they look like Lex Luger. Free the whole clique till we fill the whole town up. Fill the whole town up. And liquor we be drowning. Swimming, matter of fact, these bitches I'm a fountain. You know they drinking out of right. Obey your verses, rain is bright. So what I told her, boy, let it fly. Nigga back when I sit by, though she so handsome in the eye. I'm a villain to her, got her still the drillers. If you fly, yeah, I'm still living in the sky, cause I be living on so high. You should give this shit a try. Take this CD for a ride. When you see me, just say hi. Once I'm done breathing, I say hi. Give me a ceiling, I retire. Give some million, I resign. Keeps our constitutional rights. Sign here on the dotted line. Cause your signature is missing. I know this, I ain't blind. Ain't falling for hocus pocus. Real vision, see it slide. Don't think I won't tag shop. I catch y'all slipping. Cause you see me stay smiling. Don't think I'm extra friendly.
Yeah. Yeah, we in the building. Y'all already know. Picking back up. It was kind of going down yesterday. Yeah, Grand Rising. Everybody out there. Yeah, I see Big Brother in the building. You know what I mean? Yep. Peace and love to you too, brother. All y'all who may catch this bill. It's a shame it's not common knowledge. But it is what it is. We're going to do our best to let it be known. So yeah, Taz the GOAT finna get the smoke. If that's what it is. Or anybody. Because I know his other brothers are receiving some moors that I don't really fuck with. That would tell you the U.S. it's not a corporation. And like I said, the U.S. is a corporation. That's my apologies for the mistype. Yep, the U.S. is a corporation. And y'all know we finna get into it. Yeah, Grand Rising. Y'all hit that like button for me. I definitely appreciate you. Share, whatever, all that. I appreciate you. Yeah. I finally ran into whoever Taz the GOAT is y'all be talking about. And shoot. I mean, for a second there, I thought everything y'all was saying was wrong. Because he all right, you know. He just was wrong about this subject. I know that's for sure.
1871, February 21st, Congress passes an act to provide a government for the District of Columbia, also known as the Act of 1871 with no constitutional authority to do so. Congress creates a separate form of government for the District of Columbia, a 10-mile square parcel of land. See, Acts of the 41st Congress, Section 34, Session 3, Chapters 61 and 62. When Congress passed this Act of 1871 was to create an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government. This newly altered constitution was not intended to benefit the Republic. It benefits only the Corporation of the United States of America and operates entirely outside the original organic constitution. Which is how the case had to be filed Dale versus Corporation in a court of District of Columbia. District of Columbia, a 10-mile square parcel of land. See, Acts of the 41st Congress, Section 34, Session 3, Chapters 61 and 62. The Act, passed when the country was weakened and financially depleted in the aftermath of the Civil War, was a strategic move by foreign interests, international bankers, who were intent upon gaining a stranglehold on the coffers and neck of America. Congress cut a deal with the international bankers, specifically Rothschild of London, to incur a debt to said bankers. Because the bankers were not about to lend money to a floundering nation without serious stipulations, they devised a way to get their foot in the door of the United States. This not the first deal. Read here http://odur.let.rug.nl/ The Act of 1871 formed a corporation called the United States. The corporation, owned by foreign interests, moved in and shoved the original Constitution into a dustbin. With the Act of 1871, the organic Constitution was defaced, in effect vandalized and sabotaged, when the title was capitalized and the word for was changed to of in the title. The Constitution of the United States of America is the Constitution of the Incorporated United States of America. It operates in an economic capacity and has been used to fool the people into thinking it governs the republic. It does is not. Capitalization is not insignificant when one is referring to a legal document. This seemingly minor alteration has had a major impact on every subsequent generation of Americans. What Congress did by passing the Act of 1871 was create an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government. This newly altered constitution was not intended to benefit the Republic. It benefits only the Corporation of the United States of America and operates entirely outside the original organic constitution. Instead of having absolute and unalienable rights guaranteed under the organic constitution, we the people now have relative rights or privileges. One example is the sovereign's right to travel, which has now been transformed, under corporate government policy, into a privilege that requires citizens to be licensed. By passing the Act of 1871, Congress committed treason against the people who were sovereign under the grants and decrees of the Declaration of Independence and the Organic Constitution. The Act of 1871 became the foundation of all the treason since committed by government officials. There are several cases currently pending in D.C. which the media has seemed to take no interest in. Dale Rodney Class vs. United States http://privateattorneygeneral.ning.c. The unwritten legal maxim, always argue procedure ones in which the court's not following their own procedures theirs. The United States isn't a country, it's a corporation. In preparation for stealing America, the puppets of Britain's banking cabal had already created a second government, a shadow government designed to manage what the common herd believed was a democracy, but what really was an incorporated United States. Together this chimera, this two-headed monster, disallowed the common herd all rights of sui juris. Sovereignty.
Real talk, you know what I'm saying? This February 21st, Act of 1871. Like they had, people don't understand how things really work as far as they think Congress got power. Congress don't have no power. Is the echo still there, bro? It probably shouldn't be. I don't know what's been going on. Every time I play something and unmute myself, it be echoing. But if it's still echoing right now, let me know. When I press play, I'll just go ahead and mute up so it don't do that. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. But yeah, Congress really don't have no authority. Like the Supreme Court has the authority. It has the authority that we, the sovereign people, delegated, that we delegated to the Supreme Court. So they don't have any power that we don't give them, and they don't have the power. They can't give our power away. Like they don't really have the right to delegate any authority to Congress. So it actually states, let me see what I was just checking out about Congress. Okay. Yeah, it says Congress simply cannot hold on. Because it speaks on how Congress can only make decisions that are considered common sense. Although formally invoking the contingency theory, the court's opinion also looked forward, emphasizing that in seeking the cooperation of another branch, Congress was restrained only to common sense and the inherent necessities of the situation. It's like, oh, yeah, you had to pick up a spoon. You eating cereal. You feel me? It's like, yeah, Congress can, Congress was restrained only according to common sense and the inherent necessities of the situation. This vague statement, because people like to bring up 1825 court decision that Congress was first spoken of, and it seemed like they were given, granted, certain authorities by the court, but the court was just saying, hold on. Okay. Yeah, the court was just saying that Congress was, the authority that they seem to have was restrained only to common sense and the inherent necessities of the situation. This vague statement was elaborated somewhat in the statement that the court would sustain delegations whenever Congress provided an intelligible principle. Now, they're like, hold up. You can deal with all the common sense things and all of that, in anything inherently, that needs to be done in any situation. But when you try to get intelligible, you have no say so. It's just like they treat them like minors. You feel me? And we don't see it. We think Congress is some big dogs, but once Congress tries to get intelligible or stick their nose in the sun, scientific, lawful, medical, all of this stuff, that's when it has to go through the Supreme Court. Because now this is too big for their britches. You feel me? Like they can't even wear these shoes, is what I'm saying. So this vague statement was elaborated somewhere in the statement that the court would sustain, meaning the Supreme Court, would sustain delegations whenever Congress provided an intelligible principle to which the president or an agency must conform. So if Congress think they done said something so intelligent that everybody need to change and do this, then it's going to go through the Supreme Court. It don't go through Congress. They don't make no damn rule. Honestly. Not that you should abide by it, honestly. Unless it's just naturally common sense. That's the only reason they have the right to do that. Yeah, but I'm going to get back into this article right here. Because this is a PDF that got that fire. Like I said, the United States is a corporation. See, your boy Taz that like it got to come off the government website, all that bullshit. Like, that don't make no sense. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't think that makes much sense because we asking the deceiver to tell the outright truth in the lamest terms for all you. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, he gonna tell on himself. On this so-called government website. Anyway, the United States is a corporation, right? 1788, the original Constitution for the United States. The original, or basically the organic Constitution for the United States. That's what it said, right? Or original organic of the people government. So that meant the republic. Republic means for the people. Right? So 1871 was the amended version. Because if people understand, they should understand that it's two constitutions. Anybody who's done any studying. There's more than one constitution. And we got to understand only one of these are the organic constitution. he and others believe that an amended version, this amended bull crap of a constitution where they reworded everything, he believes that that's an organic constitution. He repeats the words of the Caucasian and calls it an organic act. Like, act? You think an act means organic, or it means, man, come on now. That's like saying after the word act, you have to say play. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. This is not the real deal, bro. You feel me? You going off an act. That's like going off these codes. Only corporations have codes. There was never a code in the U.S. until about 1926 when the first U.S. code was created. So that should let you know, those are corporate moves. That's not something the Republic ever did as long as it stood. It never had a code. Yeah. In the U.S., because like we're trying to get y'all to understand, the U.S. is not the USA. And the U.S. is not America. Like we're trying to, even if it was a country, it's still not, it's not the continent America. You feel me? So all these are different. So America, USA, and U.S. And this is the U.S. that we're speaking of. That's why it's in all capital letters. I hope we understand about that kind of a law, what we call capitis dominatio maxima. Not what we call it, what it's called. It's called capitis dominatio maxima, or we'll say straw man. You know what I'm saying? We'll speak on it as the, that straw man science. That all caps. We know that puts you into slavery. So that all caps letter, it means a corporation. That's why we say it puts you into slavery. Because it's putting you into bondage, making you a bond. It's like you have to be bonded and certified and all of this, to be able to operate, doing business, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? To be enslaved and be enslaved voluntarily, you have to do these things. That's what they're saying. Because when they lock you up and force you to do it, you're going to do all the same stuff. You're just not going to get paid. But anyway, regardless, you're going to do it. That's what they say. You can do it comfortably or atrociously. But yeah, the United States was formed in 1871, which controls only the District of Columbia. I hope people understand that. Which is only 10 square miles. This is what this 1871 Act, made. It made a government, for the corporation, called, the U.S. All caps letters. The United States. No of America, no for America, none of that. Just the United States. They removed America and all of that from them. So, we just talking about Washington, D.C., because that's the only thing they had, dominion over. And we in our minds have given them everything around those 10 square miles, which is the rest of America. We've given it up. Okay. And they say in the United States, which is the 1871, they say which controls only the District of Columbia and the territories it purchases or acquires. Right? Puerto Rico, Guam, Virgin Islands. Many think income taxes are some laws, and some laws do not affect people in the sovereign states of the Union, as they are outside of the control of the jurisdiction of the United States Corporation. The United States of America is different from the United States Corporation. The terms United States and or United States of America and or United States government are all a private corporation, even with a registered trademark. The U.S. corporation, originally called the District of Columbia, does not affect or control the 50. The U.S. corporation, originally called the District of Columbia, what was it first called? D.C.? Yeah, the District of Columbia. And it does not affect or control the 50 sovereign states that are protected from the federal government by the, they say the U.S. Constitution for the United States, adopted in 1788. Okay. And there are two United States. Yep, one formed in 1787, the collection of the several sovereign states of the Union, and another separate and different one formed in 1871, which only controls the D.C. and its territories. Others can give you specific references and explain this further. Here's an outline of the concepts. Right. The date is February 21st, 1871, and the 41st Congress is in session. I refer to you the act of 41st Congress. On this date in the history of our nation, Congress passed an act titled An Act to Provide a Government for the District of Columbia. Yeah, this is also known as the Act of 1871. What does this mean? Well, it means that Congress, under no constitutional authority to do so, created a separate form of government. Yeah, Tad's gonna learn. We definitely with the smoke, because we're talking about, this scholarly. So it's real fun to smoke your ass on this here. You know what I mean? Everybody be want to smoke dead rappers and shit. Nah, we smoking your ass on this knowledge. How about that? You feel me? Especially when it turn into lies. You feel me? When a person try to sound knowledgeable, but they're gonna lead us all back into the hands of the cracker. Now I gotta speak on it. You feel me? Yeah. Them with the Act of 1871, they were that was, Congress created that under no constitutional authority to do so. Like, have we forgotten that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land? Is that not a factor? Is that not the main thing? Like, do you not understand that the Supreme Court is not the Supreme Court. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. And that is based on what? We the people, the republic. And we, being sovereign people, actually delegate authority, any power at all. It's saying it's our collective mind when we say the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has been given authority from us, the people. The Supreme Court has no right to delegate its authority. We don't give it power to give away. The power lies there and nowhere else. It's not able to give Congress power. But Congress, somehow, going beyond the constraints of just common sense and, inherent things that we have to do to survive, maybe, they going beyond trying to be overly intelligible and really actually interfering. And that's where this Act of 1871 came in, which, like we say, they had no constitutional authority to do so. You feel me? At all. And like I say, the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It's the supreme law of the land. Like, damn. So without that, like, nothing trumps that. That's the trump card. Ain't no joker card. The Act of 1871 is the joker card. It don't even belong in the deck. You should have threw it out when you opened up the pack. We don't play with that. We don't play that. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And the Constitution for the United States of America was adopted on September 17th, 1787, by the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. See, people don't know Pennsylvania or Philadelphia was the first capital. You know, before it was D.C., it was Pennsylvania. Yeah. William Penn. That's where the name Pennsylvania comes from. It comes from William Penn. Yeah, and Vania meaning castle. So we saying that this is the castle of William Penn, so to speak, when people call it Pennsylvania. Yep. And I need to highlight that one. My boy Organized knows you did that. That's what it's boiling down to. That's what we showing them. You know, it's a hijacked constitution. You know what I mean? It's like somebody altering your mother's will. And you can see that they wrote over the top of stuff. And put their name there and all of this. And we okay with this? Come on. Come on now. Nah, we gotta wake the hell up. And the brother ain't dumb. He just don't want to be wrong. So he'll shut his ears probably, close his eyes. Instead of just wake up, man, go to the next step, man. Fuck that shit. We can't stay stuck like we can't take the next step. I can't take another step, man. I'm too tired. Man, bring your ass on, man. Stop this arguing. Take another and another. We're going to keep walking like we was doing until we hit the speed bump. Like we was building on the show until this speed bump by the U.S. is not a corporation. I'm telling them that the KKK was formed. We know it was formed. It started around 1866 or 65, as soon as they killed Abe or whatever. But they were fully established as a political party by 1870. And a religious organization and all of that different stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, 1871, it becomes the act of 1871. And all of these crackers became the politicians, so to speak. Even though we want to think all of them were. Yeah, them Slavs was not free until after 65. And there was no government from 65 until 71. So 71 is when everything was it was never reestablished. It was, it was taken over. It was de facto government was put in place. Or, put their several place. And it was really the KKK. Sitting in the White House, and we just ain't kick them out of there. And they've been in there ever since. Putting on our suits and our wigs, putting our hair on their head. They were Whiggamores before they were anything else. That was the first political party for the Caucasian. But anyway, sections 1 and 18 of the Act of Congress of February 21st, 1871, entitled An Act to Provide a Government for the District of Columbia, are as follows. Section 1. That all that part of the territory of the United States, included within the limits of the district, included within the limits of the District of Columbia, that's 10 square miles, and the same is hereby created into a government by the name of the District of Columbia, by which name it is hereby constituted a body corporate for municipal purposes. So I guess the word corporate don't have nothing to do with what we're talking about. U.S. is not a corporation. By which name it is hereby constituted a body corporate. Come on, man. For municipal purposes. And may contract and be contracted with. Sue and be sued. plead, Kush not COVID. Anyways, and make contract and be contracted with, sue and be sued. Plead and be impleaded. Have a seal. Like, you see, the Moors know about that. See, our documents, we have seals. You feel me? That's how you know, that's how you come, this is how you show them you registered your own trademark and exercise all other powers of a municipal corporation, not inconsistent with the Constitution and laws of the United States and the provisions of this act. That the legislative power of the district shall extend to all rightful subjects of legislation within said district. I guess they don't understand what the district is. They said they don't understand that it's the District of Columbia only. 10 square miles. That's why they say if you give them, with some people, if you give them a hand, they'll take your arm. What? These are those people. We gave them a hand. 10 square miles. Yeah, you good. You go right now. You straight, bro. And then what? He took your arm. Now he's, he want to take the rest of your body. Because we haven't stopped it. And we got people fighting us. You know what I'm saying? To prove that the cracker ain't in power when he's, he's in there in a de facto form or position. It's not what we call de jure or the pure. It's not pure. It's not the, the organic way. It's not the way our ancestors set it up or formulated. Nevertheless, to all the restrictions and limitations imposed upon states by the 10th section of the first article of the Constitution of the United States, by all acts of the legislative assembly shall at all times be subject to repeal or modification by the Congress of the United States. See, this the bullshit. See, this like the Bible telling you, it's okay to beat your slave and stuff. This the bullshit. The cracker obviously tampered with the Bible because he tampered with everything else. He literally tampered with the Constitution and put this kind of bullshit in there. And we okay with it because we don't respect that the Constitution, number one, comes from the great law of peace. We all, y'all Indians, come on, we all Aboriginals or whatever the case, or just respect other cultures, then you should understand it stems from the great law of peace. That's why the Constitution should hold weight in all our hearts, right? So the Constitution being the supreme law of the land because it came from the sovereigns of the land, the true people of the land. It comes from the great law of peace, those First Nations, right? So that's the supreme law of the land, and we let them alter that in this corporate way to benefit them, I hope we see that. These sections are carried forward in the Act of Congress of June 22nd, 1874, entitled An Act to Revise and Consolidate the Statutes of the United States, general and permanent in their nature, relating to the District of Columbia, in force on the first day of December in the year of our Lord 1873. So they're saying 1873. So this is probably when the paperwork was written, but it was enacted in June 22nd, 1874. And whereas the Constitution does provide that Congress has the power to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases. See, this is a phony-ass Constitution because the original never gave Congress any power. Is we woke? You know what I'm saying? Well, I know the chat, y'all woke. Yeah, y'all woke. The sleepyheads done dozed off, I'm sure. But yeah, y'all will, at least somebody in this world get it. But it's like only the same people getting it in this world. It's like other people just, man, they lost. That's why you don't see the chat 100 deep. Because it's more sleep people than anything. You know what I mean? Yeah, Grand Rising. Yeah, you know I could do that, sis. For real. That seems like, to me, it's like beating a dead horse, but damn. These niggas really, they really either stuck on the bullshit or they just don't know. And most of them stuck on the bullshit because they do. They done ran across information. They just don't agree. Because I guess they got faith in this corporate structure. Or even if Taz out there, y'all send that link to him, Taz don't mind jumping up. And you know what I'm saying? He ain't got to get disrespected like he did yesterday. If he come up here, he can just get cut up with his, his knowledge, with his truth. Yeah, and whereas the Constitution does provide that Congress has the power to exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square. So like the brother says, 5 miles, but we talking about 10 square miles. So when you square it up, it's going to be more, But it's a small patch of land, man, as may, by a session or particular states and acceptance of Congress, become the seat of government of the United States. Only U.S. Not no for America. None of that. Not even of America. And whereas on February 21st, 1871, the 41st Congress passed an act entitled An Act to Provide a Government for the District of Columbia, legislating the organization of a municipal corporation to run the day-to-day affairs of the District of Columbia, the seat of government, was transferred the United States of America, the Republic, into a corporate entity entitled United States, in capital letters, having no jurisdiction outside of the District of Columbia. Right. And whereas Congress adopted the text of the federal Constitution as a constitution or charter of this municipal corporation, this municipal corporation was granted the power to contract to provide municipal services to the inhabitants of the District of Columbia, and necessarily as an operation of the privileges and immunity clause of Article 4 of the Constitution. Any other person who chooses to contract for his services. Is there fraud in our ranks? The Webster's Dictionary states that fraud means deceit, trickery, intentional perversion of truth in order to induce another to part with something of value or to surrender a legal right. Right? Hope y'all got it. But the Black's Law Dictionary states pretty much what the Webster's Dictionary does, but adds about 2 pages full of information. My favorite part is a false representation of a matter of fact, whether by words or by conduct, by false or misleading allegations, or by concealment of that which should have been disclosed, which deceives and is intended to deceive another, so that he shall act upon it to his legal injury. February 21st, 1871, Congress passes an act to provide a government for the District of Columbia, also known as the Act of 1871, with no constitutional authority to do so. Congress creates a separate form of government for the District of Columbia, a 10-mile square parcel of land. See Acts of the 41st Congress, September 34th, Session 3, Chapter 61 and 2. The act passed when the country was weakened and financially depleted in the aftermath of the Civil War, and was a strategic move by foreign interests international bankers who were intent upon gaining a stranglehold on the coffers and neck of America. Congress cut a deal with the international bankers, specifically Rothschilds of London, to incur a debt to said bankers, because the bankers were not about to lend money to a floundering nation without serious stipulations. They devised a way to get their foot in the door of the United States. The Act of 1871 formed a corporation called the United States. The corporation, owned by foreign interests, moved in and shoved the original Constitution in the dustbin. With the Act of 1871, the original Constitution for the United States, 1788, was defaced and in effect vandalized and sabotaged when the title was capitalized and the word "for" was changed to "of." Because people don't understand the word "of" in this sense meant without, and we know who the true Americans are, right? So at once upon a time, it was the United States for the real Americans. That's why we are, we the people. When they say we the people, it was a republic form of government. We are those people, the true Americans. Now is without you without you true Americans. The Constitution of, all capitals, everything capital, the Constitution of the United States of America. Went from the Constitution for USA to of. Yep, what I'm saying, 1871 is the Constitution of the Incorporated United States of America. And people would try to go crazy and be like, oh, you got IN, it means not, of course it don't always mean that. If incorporated meant not incorporated, then what the hell does unincorporated mean? We know this means you are incorporated. You are a corporation. It operates in an economic capacity and has been used to fool the people into thinking it governs the republic. It does not. Capitalization is significant. When one is referring to a legal document, this seemingly minor alteration has had a major impact on on every subsequent generation of Americans. I guess that's a coincidence, right? What Congress did by passing the Act of 1871 was create an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government. This newly altered constitution was not intended to benefit the republic. It benefits only the corporation of the United States of America and operates entirely outside the original Constitution. Instead of having absolute and unalienable rights guaranteed under the original Constitution, this was guaranteed in the supreme law of the land, the original Constitution, stemming from the great law of peace. Instead of having absolute and unalienable rights guaranteed under the original Constitution, we the people now have relative rights with privileges. One example is the sovereign's right to travel, which has now been transformed under corporate government policy into a privilege that requires citizens to be licensed. So we traded our rights for privileges. And this is where it all began, when we started acting. Yep, like 1871, the Act of 1871. By passing the Act of 1871, Congress committed treason. Yep, matter of fact, let me put that other comment I had up there, because this is what it's boiling down to. Well, I had to put it at. Here we go. because this was boiling down to everything is either treaty or treason. Period. I hope we know it's the same word. You know what I mean? So they committed treason. In the beginning, to start the government, they used treaty. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship is the first treaty. We were the first ones to recognize them as a nation. And, that was not a corporate thing. But this here was not by treaty, it was by treason. And by passing the Act of 1871, Congress committed treason because Congress doesn't have any power to do this. It's we the people, the sovereign people, and we delegate the authority to the Supreme Court that it has, or the Constitution delegates us our authority, or, God truly, and we, put together the Constitution and we give power to the Supreme Court. It don't take none of that. It ain't none of that kind of party going on. We basically delegate that authority or that power as a collective. All of us are coming together to say that, it's okay that we have a Supreme Court to answer these matters, that we're divided upon. So we have that for that purpose. Congress is not for that purpose because the Supreme Court is not allowed to delegate its authority. Our power that we give it lies there. It doesn't go any further. But yeah. And they say on May 3rd, 1802, an act was passed to incorporate the city of Washington, right? Hold on. So, all right. In 1871, an important modification was made in the form of the district government. A legislature was established with all the apparatus of a distinct government by the act of February 21st of that year, entitled An Act to Provide a Government for the District of Columbia. It was enacted, Section 1, that all that territory of the United States included within the limits of the District of Columbia be created into a government by the name of the District of Columbia, by which name it was constituted a body corporate for municipal purposes, with power to make contracts, sue and be sued. Man, come on now. Don't tell me we ain't catching on by now. I know we got it. Man. It don't got to come out no government damn website. You feel me? For you to tackle that information, man. For real. Because the brother yesterday, he wanted a government website so bad, which makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, matter of fact, Lady Al just asked, or a while ago she asked, so when did the treaties come into effect? Before the Constitution? Like I say, the Constitution truly stems from the great law of peace. And if we're going to say, the Constitution, when the date that they adopted it, well, yeah, that was simultaneous with the treaty. Pretty much right after the treaty is when they got the Constitution. It's like first they had to show us they really want peace. And you want a treaty? Okay. We're going to do it like this. We're going to have peace. So that was 1776. But by 1787, they adopted our Constitution. So yeah, the treaty came first, slightly. Yep. Like I said, Pennsylvania being the former capital, or Philadelphia being the former capital of the U.S., so-called U.S. or the USA. You feel me? And before it was Washington, D.C., it was Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Like I say, Penn being William Penn. Vania meaning castle. So it's like the castle of William Penn, so to speak. That's what they nicknaming themselves. And that's what they pretty much called. And the Constitution lasted until June 20th, 1874. Yes, my apologies. And the Constitution lasted until June 20th, 1874, when an act was passed entitled An Act for the Government. Okay, once again, like, come on now. Like, that's what it is. And when you hear people disagree that was some kind of organic constitution and thing that happened in 1871, like, that's like saying, Abraham Lincoln was organically, killed. He was organically killed. Yeah, he just died organically. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. They literally altered our constitution and, changed everything in a legalese slide type of way. You feel me? Just how people get their land took. Now to this day, ain't nothing changed. We gotta know. We gotta understand that legal jargon. So when they switch up things, we'll understand that they coming for our neck. You feel me? That all caps letters that they gave to, the title of the United States and all that, that all means something. That means it was subjected. You feel me? We talking about under total, dominion. You feel me? So don't tell me y'all don't know that. That type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Should have been known that all caps. Matter of fact, I'm going to just go into the Capitis Dominatio Maxima right quick. Even though I done videos about this, I don't know. Why y'all don't go check out that old stuff? You don't do them to wake up. Are we there yet? Yep. I don't be making this up. You know what I mean? So, Capitis Dominatio Maxima. Maxima is saying all of the letters have been maximized. It also means you're under, when they say dominatio, or, that's like saying being diminished or being dominated to the maximum. And the capital letters is what shows that. And I like that. The brother says no statute of limitations on fraud. So we still, and it can be sued. It can be sued. They can sue and be sued. So we can go after them. It needs to be we the people of the Republic of the United States, or for the United States of America, versus the U.S., all capital letters. Yeah, for real. Or even we the people versus the Rothschilds. We the people versus Bill Gates. We the people versus Monsanto. Yep. So, like I said, Capitis Dominatio Maxima being those all caps letters. And like it says in Black's Law Dictionary, 2nd edition, definition, the highest or most comprehensive loss of status. So in 1871 was the highest or most comprehensive loss of status when it came to the United States. That's why it was all caps, all letters, every letter was all capital. And we should know that means a corporation anyways. Like you said, a body corporate. But this occurred when a man's condition was changed from one of freedom to one of bondage, when he became a slave. So this occurred when a man's condition, same thing happened to the U.S., seems like, because the United States of America's condition was changed from one of freedom to bondage, and people became slaves. Yeah, right. Capitis diminutio, the greatest, capitis diminutio maxima involved the loss of liberty, citizenship, and family. Yep, being made a slave or prisoner of war. That's why we up under the war banner. You feel me? Let me see if they got any images just to let y'all know I ain't tripping. See, they showing you everywhere. They showing you. Every time you seeing that, it means that. That's how corporations operate. Corpse means dead. So that's why everything gonna be capital. It's no different when you see United States of America, all caps, all caps. When it was never written like that in the original Constitution of 1787. A diminishing or abridgment of personality. This was a loss of or curtailment of a man's status or aggregate of legal attributes and qualifications following upon certain changes in his civil condition. It was of three kinds, enumerated as follows. Because you have capitis diminutio minima. Minima is where, the minimum amount of rights are given up, where you might capitalize a letter, like the first letter of the first name, and that would be enough. That would be you giving up the minimum. It's like, okay, I give you the minimum of rights away. Capitis diminutio media, meaning medium, would be, like capitalizing, your first, middle, and your last name, so to speak. But not the whole name, but the first letter of your first name, your middle name, and your last name. That would be giving up the medium amount of rights. And they train us to do this, And then when you write it in all capital letters, every letter being capitalized, that's when you give up, the maximum amount of your rights, which is all your rights. That's why the Moors always telling y'all, you hear us talk about all rights reserved, or you hear us, you done heard people speak on UCCs, like I guess it's what, UCC 1301 or whatever. Basically, if you don't protect your rights, it's basically, if you don't put all rights reserved and things like that and protect your rights, it's considered that you have waived them. You waived your rights. It's like, oh, it's okay, I don't mind. The Negro law of South Carolina, just throw that in there while we're looking at it. But the status of the Negro, his rights and disabilities. The term Negro is confined to slave Africans, the ancient Berbers, and their descendants. Y'all don't understand, they attacking a great people. They pointing at the empire and bringing us up on charges is what they doing. To this day, the term Negro is confined to slave Africans, the ancient Berbers, and their descendants. They didn't go get no petty ass, weak ass Africans. They only went and got elite. Even if we gonna act like it only came out of Africa, all around the world, the niggas that they have been coming at have been elite, part of that empire. It does not embrace the free inhabitants of Africa, such as the Egyptians, Moors, or the Negro Asiatics, such as the Lascars. That's back, when the they first started putting that word Negro on people to put you in bondage. And as you see, it's in all capitals. Highest or most comprehensive loss of status. This occurred when a man's condition was changed from one of freedom to one of bondage when he became a slave. It swept away with all rights. So seeing America in all caps, or in the USA in all caps, should have been a dead giveaway. But y'all ain't hip to that kind of a law. You know what I mean? That capitis dominatio maxima. You know, if people already was hip to the straw man science, then they would already know when they seen the U.S. doing it, what that signified. That was a signal. That was like a red, that was a dead giveaway. It's like, oh shit, they bankrupt. You know what I mean? Oh, they hijack. You know what I mean? Yeah. We up and at it a little early. You know, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Grand Rising. Y'all hit them like button. And you know what I'm saying? If you ain't already subscribed, you know, subscribe. Even if you just want to talk shit, because a lot of y'all gonna do that too. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and subscribe. Gonna learn today. Yeah, most definitely everything is lawful versus legal, public versus private. Yep. They hijacked our status with that whack ass Constitution of 1871. And people gotta understand there's more than one constitution. And only one that matters. The original. Yeah, and that's why you got Moors. Moors the only ones be fighting this type of shit. I promise you. I done seen people. That's why they call us paperwork terrorists sometimes, because I done seen Moors kick every company ass that's sending them a bill, and freeze them motherfuckers up, and make them get the money from a different source. All of a sudden, bills getting paid, but people ain't paying them. I be like, damn. I don't know what they did. Yeah, Grand Rising GA. Good to see you in the building. For sure. And dang, you just showing up too. But yeah, I done went in because I guess your boy Taz the GOAT, when he came on Big Dog Philly OG channel the other day. A matter of fact, yesterday. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? It was a great cast of people up there on the panel. And everything was going smooth. Shoot, I was kind of agreeing with the brother on damn near everything until he got hung up about the U.S. is not a corporation. So I'm like, damn, bro, you was right about everything else. I don't know why you want to stay there and argue that. Y'all, I mean, they argue about at least an hour. You feel me? So I'm like, damn. We could have kept going and kept building this. It's like, damn. And we're going to stop building the tower because of a disagreement. You know? It's like, damn. Shit don't make no sense. Yeah, I appreciate that. I wish GA would have been in the building all dizzy. But yeah, it's definitely going to be on replay. And most likely it's going to have to be, I'm going to have to respond. Yeah, my bro Rashad was in the building. He already know what I'm talking about. But I just went through it. I just, pulled up a good little PDF and whatever else. Just trying to make them understand what the original Constitution really was. Because the brother Taz the GOAT don't know. He don't know what the republic form of government is. Because he telling me the U.S. is a corporation. It should have been easy to kill that when I asked him. I'm like, well, are you saying that we're in a republic form of government? Because ever since 1871, there has been, since 65, when we went in recess, there has been no republic form of government. So if it's not a republic form of government, then it's de facto. So the U.S. is a corporation. Even if it was another nation, it would be a hijack, regardless. This is not something organic. So yeah, the U.S. is a corporation. Act of 1871, incorporated and made it a body corporate, and a municipal. Let's see. Yeah, a democracy. And the thing about a democracy means against the government. And but the crazy thing about it is the Constitution, or the original Constitution, literally says that no party shall be formed against the government. No party can be formed, shall be formed against the government. So how can a democracy be constitutional? It's not, unless you're going off the Act of 1871. It's an act of a constitution. It's an act of a government. It's just an act. And we rocking with it like it's the real deal. Yeah, so democracy is definitely not that's why, you could tell we were the republic, because in the beginning, when the politics started heating up, in the 1870s and all that kind of stuff, they would show you that the Republic the Republic Party, they would put a Negro head for the Republic Party, and and put a Caucasian, or put the elephant, so to speak, for the Democrat. That's why even now it's the donkey and the elephant. You feel me? They're trying to say the donkey head is the Republic, because at one point it was the Negro head. Before they started putting the donkey's head, calling the Republicans asses, the Republican Party was created by free blacks and whites that wanted to help them. Yeah, that's true. Because they wanted to be on the land, It was like, man, they wanted to make it a way for people like them. The ones that they thought was good, or we thought was good at that point. But yeah, that backfired. Before, the brother was talking about organic constitution. They kept bringing up the Continental Congress and all this stuff. I'm like, you shouldn't even bring up the Continental Congress if you don't know who John Hanson is. You feel me? That's where we get the 7 other presidents that existed before George Washington. They were presidents of the Continental Congress. So I don't know if we don't understand that the continent is greater than a country. But yeah, we need to wake up. And say Republicans are the only party that gave blacks their rights. That's real. Yeah, and pull up corporate ownership of person via law. Yeah, I already expect nothing less than a video from Taz. I don't know if he'll get this one unless y'all share it to him. I know I'm gonna tag him, but I know he's gonna make a video later on anyways, because that was the subject. That was the big subject yesterday that he went haywire over. So he gonna ignore this, still say dumb shit. So hopefully some of y'all be in the comment section with more familiarity and knowledge than him. So shit, while he telling them lies, somebody might can wake up. You feel me? Because I don't know why he trying to support that damn system. We talking about the Act of 1871. We talking about the real literal KKK done took over the damn government, and we gonna, we support that. No, that's over with. Let me see what I can find for y'all. I appreciate y'all coming through. This beat is
in the clouds like